Hello, good afternoon, everyone. For those who do not know me, my name is Baki Adewale Musa. I am the product manager and founder of DeMinder. So today, I want to talk about building what truly matters. So most products don't fail because the team doesn't know how to build. It fails because team build the wrong thing. Ideation is easy, as we all know. Having an idea of what to build, it's much easier. But how do you execute it? And execution is very expensive because you have to consider, okay, the product managers, the development team, and all that. So execution is always expensive. So today I'll walk you through a disciplined journey from ideation to product research, strategy, execution, and how do you define what success actually looks like. So when researching as a product manager, it's best to focus on behavioral data, not just opinion. Behavior data is the best because it gives the strongest signal and it shows the truth over opinion. Survey reveals what user wants. Tells you, okay, they can tell you in a survey that this is what they want. But the behavioral data is what will really tell you what they actually value, what the pain points are. So good research should show what problem matter the most, and this helps with prioritization. What solution is acceptable and what trades-off are users willing to make? User research must influence your prioritization as a product manager, just like I said earlier, because coming up with idea is easy, but the validation of that product is hard. Before building anything, I always ask myself, does this problem, does it does it exist at scale? And this is where keyword research becomes very powerful as a tool which a product manager must use at their disposal. So most teams treat keyword research as, okay, keyword research, this is marketing work, this has to do with the marketing only. No, it's not. Search data reveals what problem people are actively looking for. So when you know, okay, this is a problem users are looking for, the people are looking for, then you can know that this is a potential market for you as product manager. How do you use this? How do you put this into your product? What language are users naturally using to search for a product or to search for a solution? What's the intent behind this search? What's the appropriate market interest? So all these things, what's the market size? All these things, they're very important for a product manager to use all these when working on any product. So for product manager, keyword research validates the market appetite before the engineering starts, before the engineering process starts. You need to validate, okay, is this product, what's the market size of this product? How many users? And what's the problem we're actually trying to solve? So when research keyword relating to your product idea, I mean, when you research keyword that is relating to your product idea, you're not just looking for SEO opportunity for yourself. You're looking for how to position yourself, and you're looking for how you're looking for the demand signal on how to position yourself. So search volume tells you, are people actively looking for this solution? That's one of the things it tells you. How often do people search for it? What language are people using? If your users are using, let's say, English to search for a product, you can't deploy a product in, let's say, Spanish or in French. So these are very important. If let's assume, if thousands of people search monthly for a specific product or for a specific pain point on, maybe how to cure something or how to find something locally, this gives you a signal, a market signal as a product manager. So if almost nobody search for it, that as well, you must understand that, okay, that as well, is it that this particular product, it requires a specific time of the year when people search for it, or is it just an emerging market? Let's assume now, people in the past 10 years, 10 years before now, people might not be searching for AI, but you need to be able to position yourself as a product manager. Okay, how do we position ourselves for even emerging markets, not just something that is currently on trend. So keyword research helps estimate the potential market. It also reviews the positioning opportunity, future market. As an example, let's say 400,000 people search for a keyword monthly. That signals the amount of demand that that market has. It's also going to show you what's the future expectation. It's also going to show you what's the pain points, what's the problem they want you to resolve. How specific how specific can you position yourself using the language they're using to search for and the pain points you deduce from the search keyword. So all these are very important. So still, while still discussing keyword research or research in general, as a product manager, we need to avoid shallow analysis when researching our competitors. Because I've seen this a lot, especially as a new product manager. As a product manager, you don't have to. Oh, I think there's a glitch. I just, yeah. Yeah, I think I'm back online now. So sorry about that. So still talking about research as a product manager. Every product manager must ensure, as a new product manager, you need to ensure you avoid shallow analysis of your competitor. Because as a product manager, you don't just study what your competitors are building. You need to study what are they ranking for, how are they positioning their messaging, what is their review like, what do people like about their product, what does user complain about their products. So all these things will give you an insight into how to position yourself, how to the language you need to use in your marketing, the language you need to use within your product, and how to position your product. So all these are very important, especially on the review. It's also important. Review is good. You need to be able to make use of your user review. I mean, your competitors' users review. What are users saying? What is the positive thing they're saying about their product? What is the negative things they're saying about their product? Because the review tells you what are users' expectation, what is their actual expectation about the product. What did they get? What did they get as a value in that product? What do they not like about the product? What are they being frustrated about? So all these things will give you an insight into how your competitor products are. Because your research shouldn't just be about copying your competitor. It's about identifying gaps that you can fill, that you can position yourself for. So your findings when researching the competitor should be able to help you evaluate their positioning angle, how they're monetizing, and their messaging gap. So all these are very, very important as a new product manager. So let's talk about naming a product or a feature. So naming as a product manager, we need to treat naming as a strategy for us, because you just don't want to give your product any name. A name is not just a decoration for the product. It's how you position, it's how your users, how they see your product. It's the first perception, your user perception about your product is the name. So your product's name should communicate the value. It should reflect the problem you're trying to solve, their pain point. It should be searchable. It should be memorable. So all these things are very important, because if you use a name, let's assume your product is in English, and you're writing and you're using a name in Spanish with Spanish icon and all that, it will be difficult for users to search the product, and it will be difficult for users to easily have a memory to remember your product. To be difficult. So when it comes to this memorable, I can't overemphasize this, because a user should be able to see the name of your product, and next time remember, okay, this is the name of the product. That's why you see many products that are doing well today. They have a memorable name. Once you hear the name for the first time, even after years, if you hear the name again, you'll be like, oh, I've had this product name before. So when naming a feature or a product, avoid internal language. The naming should relate with your user's pain point. Let's assume now, uh, let's assume we are a development team of, let's say, we are a hosting company. Yes, let me use a hosting company as an example. We are an hosting company, and at the end of the day, we're using Smart Sync. So we're using Smart Sync for our products. So if we're using Smart Sync for our products as our selling points, users may not understand what the product is all about. So it's best that we use something like automatic backup. Then users can easily understand what our product is all about. Another one is clarity, because clarity beats cleverness. We need to be able to position ourselves in a clear way. So when your naming aligns with your keyword intent, to be honest, you avoid friction, because users can search for the product, see your product, and say, okay, relate with that. Okay, this particular product solves my problem. So this will help you with better discovery, better conversion, and better understanding of what your product is all about. So if user can't understand what you do, you've already lost creative barrier between yourself and the product, because once your user sees the name of your product, they won't be able to relate with what the product has to offer them. So going on to products, to building a product, as a product manager, you need to understand that every idea is not worth building. It's not every idea that comes to your brain, that comes to your mind, that you see somewhere, or that you hear from someone, that you have to build. Not all problems are worth solving. No, some problem or some products will only drain your resources. They won't give you the results you want. Some problem are loud, some are frequent, some are just emotional, some are way expensive than you as a team can afford. So not all products are worth working on. The best problem to solve they usually have these three traits. They are painful, they are recurring, users are already trying to solve this problem. Let's assume now, with the use of AI, companies are always trying to reduce costs. With AI, they can automate things and make things easier, make things cheaper for themselves. This is a problem, it's a pain point, it's recurring. And the last is that they are all already trying to reduce costs. So all you have to do is to solve it, present the solution to them, and make them a repeat customer. So as product managers, we must differentiate between a problem that is interesting to solve and a problem that is valuable to solve. And what we should always go for are problems that are valuable, because a valuable product will give a company a good revenue. You have good user retention, there'll be good engagement, and it will be, even if it's not cost efficient at start, with time goes on, with users, excuse me, when users start using your product, with time, it will be cost efficient. So if solving isn't, it doesn't necessarily mean just changing one of those things. It may not be strategic at first to build the product. So if solving the product doesn't change one of those things, one of these things I've mentioned above, the revenue, your retention, engagement, and all that, it might not be strategic as a product manager to prioritize or the development of such a particular product. So because building what truly matters means saying no to a lot of ideas. As a product manager, there are lots of ideas that will cross your mind, but how can you prioritize? Which one is important? Which one is not important? Which one is just going to drain your resources? Which one will give you the results you want? Which one will achieve what you want, your goal as a company, your mission? Which one aligns with it? So all these are very important when we're prioritizing, when we're researching, and when we are prioritizing which specific features or what to build and what not to build. So when it comes to defining success, this is where many teams drift. They measure output, what feature did we ship this particular month? How many sprints have we completed? Are we strictly following? Are we hitting our roadmap milestone? So these are the output which a lot of product managers, which they focus on. But as a new product manager, don't do that. Focus on what are the impacts of the product you're shipping out. Outcome are meant to matter, not the output. Because how can you measure your outcome? Did you increase user retention? Did you reduce your churn rate? This is very important because some users use the product for just 1 or 2 days. Then there's a churn rate. They stop using the product. How well are you able to reduce your churn rate? How much activation have you improved? Is there higher engagement with your product? What's your revenue growth? Because revenue is very important for the success of every product. So these are what truly matters. You can ship 10 features and move nothing. Shipping a lot of features doesn't necessarily mean you're going in the right direction. You might be going in the wrong direction. But what? You have to be strategic about what feature you prioritize, what feature you ship, and all that. So these are very important when working on any product. You can ship just one strategic feature, and that will give you the success the company has been looking for. So before building, ask what output are we targeting? What outputs do we want to eat? What's our mission? What's our vision? How does this align with our targets? So because if you can't define a success clearly, that okay, this is what success actually look like, you can't evaluate the performance honestly. As a product manager, you must be able to define your outcome based on thinking, this is what we want, this is the way we're moving, this is what we want to achieve, this is how we are achieving it. You need to be able to lay this all down and be able to work on those targets to achieve it, because activities is not progress. The amount of the amount of what's it called? The amount of sprints you've completed, the amount of feature you ship, all those only doesn't amount to the success of your product. So as product managers, building what matters requires saying no to more than saying yes. There's a lot of features people suggest to you. There's a lot of features or product that will come to your head, but how can you define, okay, this is what we need to work on? How can you prioritize? How can you define what success look like? How can you say no to features that you think, okay, these are just going to drain our resources? All those things matters when building a product. So it's not all about building. It's about building deliberately. You need to be able to be deliberate about what you want to build. So let me leave you with some of this word. Ideation to execution require research before your mind gets attached to what you want to build. Naming with clarity. You need to be able to name what product you want to build. Give a strategic name, a name that aligns with what your users are searching for, what your user pain points are. Choosing high value problem that are of high value, not problem that are just looking good, not problem that are valuable. You need to be able to listen to the behavioral data, not just noise. Look out for the data, look out for the trend. Is this what we really want to build? What are the estimate potential users of this product? All these things are very important. You need to be able to turn your insights from this data into a direction. Okay, this is the direction we're going. This is the language we'll be using for our product. This is how we position ourselves, and all these, they are very important. And how do you measure the outcome? Is there little churn rate? Is there good activation? Is there users subscribing, paying to use our product? All these are very important. They are very, very important. So when you do all these, your execution becomes very powerful. Even if it's just a product or a feature you're able to work on, then you will know the success rate of that particular product will be amazing. So the best product manager don't just build more, they build what truly matters. They build what's truly matter and they ignore the rest. They ignore the noise. So thank you so much for attending today's seminar. Thank you.